We come to you from in front of the Padmanabha Swami temple in Thiruvananthapuram, and very exciting elections. Unlike the rest of the country, Kerala expected to certainly show a lot of enthusiasm in the voting. Last time round too, they have always had 73% plus of voting percentage. I have with me guests who are going to help us understand what's happening in Kerala. Rahul Ishwar, who is of course right-leaning, but wears his hat as an analyst. I have Jimsa Abraham as well, who is someone who is an indie supporter and here as well as an analyst. And I have with me Gilvesta, a former colleague of mine and a very senior journalist. This time round, so much of shor sharaba around what's happening. Is it the coming of the BJP that does all this?
We are lucky to be in Sri Padmanabha Swami temple, the richest temple in the world, and we Trivandrum are lucky to have three great candidates because all the three are good. Starting from Panyan sir, who is a son of the soil, Shashi Tharoor sir, we have a cosmopolitan, Raji Chandrasekhar, a very eminent entrepreneur. I believe Raji Chandrasekhar did really come up in the first laps of the election. He did really well. He initiated new ideas. Maybe Tharoor sir was a bit complacent in the beginning, but I think Raji Chandrasekhar really made that energy into the campaign. So there is a good possibility of BJP having marched ahead in Trivandrum and Thrissur in a very good way. It is yet to see how that will convert into seats, but definitely the vote share is going to be much more closer and it is going to be a very close fight.
Trivandrum you spoke about, but the rest of Kerala as well, the excitement, the pitch has increased. The Prime Minister was here half a dozen times in the new year.
It is, well, thank you for having me to begin with. It is definitely not going to affect the outcome of the election. It certainly has been able to build on some traction on ground. But that aside, like Rahul said, I'd like to add to that as well. Now, Tharoor sir has been willfully complacent. He's been a master of 3 different election campaigns. He just knew where to begin his campaign and how to win elections. So I would say when it comes to on-ground electioneering, the UDF is head and shoulders above the LDF and the NDA.
Okay. You're my neutral voice and therefore you're going to tell me, is that what it is all about? They both are presumed to be supporting 2 different sides.
Well, it's a very important election for all the 3 fronts. The UDF, as you know, in the last elections in 2019, there was a huge support in favor of the UDF. One of the reasons was that Rahul Gandhi contested from Wayanad and he was also projected as the next Prime Minister. So there was a major shift of votes towards the UDF, and also there was Sabarimala issue which had dented the votes of the LDF. So those factors helped the UDF gain massive victory, winning 19 out of the 20 seats here. But this time around that sort of wave is not in favor of UDF, even though they have a upper hand, because all the pre-poll surveys and opinion polls have suggested that they have a upper hand in almost
all this campaign around the country saying that you're coming together in an India alliance, and yet when it comes to Kerala, you're fighting each other very, very bitterly. Is that something that people of Kerala are thinking about, worrying about?
Well, that's not the case, in the sense that because even when the LDF was supporting the UPA government, at that time also they were fighting against each other in Kerala. As you know, that the leaders of CPM used to seek support for the Congress candidates in Tamil Nadu, just few kilometers away, and once they came to Kerala they used to oppose the Congress. So that has been a traditional kind of a political situation in Kerala, so that's not going to impact the voters, because one of the reasons is that unless the LDF and the UDF they amass their maximum votes, otherwise it's going to help the BJP. The third force in Kerala can only come in case if there is a weakened candidate of the LDF or the UDF. So both the fronts, they always try to maximize their votes. So in that sense, it's not going to have an impact on the elections that way.
Okay, the BJP is certainly steadily increasing its vote share.
That's true.
What's the reason that it's happening? People say, okay, they are wooing different minorities as well, minority groups, and there is a Hindu vote that is coming to them, and yet they cannot get the seats.
See, Kerala's demography is very different and unique. We have nearly 50 to 55% Hindu community, 27 to 28% of our Muslim brothers, nearly 17 or 18 to 20% of our Christian brothers. And in Trivandrum, if you look at the demography, it is roughly 65 to 67% Hindu community, nearly 19 to 20% Christian community, and nearly 13.
We understand both demographic and political history is not in favor of the BJP if you were to presume that the minorities do not vote, and also history has shown us that less than 2% of the minorities actually vote for the BJP.
And BJP is also reaching out to Christian Sabhas, Christian community, bishops in a big way. But Manipur incident or the Manipur discussion really dampened the spirit. I mean, that's the honest reality on ground. But Modi ji's credibility is definitely there. Modi ji as a pan-Indian leader is definitely adding to the whole thing. And definitely there is a Modi vote here. There is a Modi traction vote, the middle class, the urban middle class, thinking Modi ji, of a very positive note. So that is definitely one added advantage. And Shashi Tharoor believes that with Shashi Tharoor, that angle can be neutralized. And the interesting thing to see is that we hardly will see Shashi Tharoor's posters having Rahul Gandhi's posters, but all the Rajiv Chandrasekhar posters will be having Narendra Modi's posters, because that will be a vote catcher for Rajiv Chandrasekhar ji.
But that same vote bank when Rajiv Chandrasekhar also in a sense appeals to, isn't it? That middle class neutral voter who is not already aligned to either the UDF or the LDF, and IT minister, somebody who's been a union minister as well. All that is something that certainly could harm Mr. Shashi Tharoor's chances.
See, when you examine Thiruvananthapuram as a constituency, you have three demographics that you're presented with. You have the traditional voters, then you have the swing voters, and then you also have the beachside residents. So the beachside residents had some conflict with the Tharoor campaign earlier. Now this was introduced by Chandrasekhar's campaign to begin with, which Rahul said wasn't earnest, but then it now has turned in Tharoor's favor. The beachside is stridently behind Tharoor's camp now. The swing voters, especially because of the unemployment, two, because of an absence of a national issue, right, are largely undecided. And especially since we had the Rajasthan speech by Modi, it has become quite popular, where he has spoken about Mangal Sutras. That has become an emotive issue in a state like Kerala, where we do not have any prejudices between castes and religions. I don't think it is going to affect the swing voters as well. The only section that it can affect, though, is the traditional voter base of the CPM. And if they remain intact, if all the voters vote en masse and vote for the CPM, Tharoor is winning by a margin of not less than 50 to 60,000 in Trivandrum. And should they erode, much to our surprise, it will be in favor of BJP, and he will then be presented with a victory of 25 to 30,000 votes.
Rest certainly in the Shashi Tharoor camp, so you are giving him a very comfortable victory.
Is going to win with a minimum 25 to 30,000.
Even in the last election, the understanding was that Mr. Shashi Tharoor's margin actually went up because of a vote transfer that happened to make him comfortable.
Well, was it last time slightly because there was a Shabarimala wave, and NSS, the most prominent forward caste Hindu community organization, decided en masse to defeat CPM candidates. That was one of the reasons why the NSS votes totally got transferred to CPM. There is right now that not kind of an emotive issue. We were all very active part of Shabarimala issue. That aspect is right now not there. Plus Rahul Gandhi factor. Rahul Gandhi coming to Wayanad for the first time.
Are you saying the BJP's vote, the way it increased, that also likely to come down?
Not necessary, because Rajiv Chandrasekhar may poll in more votes than Sri Kuman Rajashekhar, because there was a hyper-energetic campaign. There was, it was a healthy campaign. It was reaching out to various sections. I personally believe
I'm asking you not to limit yourself to Thiruvananthapuram only, not this constituency alone.
And overall, BJP, Congress traditionally may have had some financial issues, as many people say, but BJP has a very good war chest. They ran a very healthy campaign. Like you said, Prime Minister was here giving undue attention to Kerala in one sense, for coming to marriage, coming to all other things. So brand Modi, and he's trying to reach out to South too, telling that Tamil is older than Sanskrit, and for the fifth time or the umpteen number of times. So yes, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, the traditional South Indian vote bank will have an attraction to a strong man, Narendra Modi ji, who can pitch himself well. Yes, there are controversies like he mentioned. We are ready to see how that will play out on ground.
Okay.
I'd like to add just one sentence to what Rahul said. Now, regarding Chandrasekhar, will his margin of defeat be upped by Rajashekharans? Well, I think yes, it will not be upped. I'm sorry. Rajashekharan will be upped by Chandrasekharan when it comes to the margin of defeat, only because Chandrasekhar is an unknown entity in state politics. We know nothing about him. He has his lineage tracing back to Palakkad in Kerala, but that's about it. Rajashekharan had this son of the soil image. plus he had the BJP votes as well. So I would argue that this time Chandrasekhar would be losing with a higher margin than that of Rajshekhar.
Gilvester, in all this attention that's paid to the BJP and the vote of the that the Prime Minister is bringing in his charisma and all that, and yet nothing for them?
Well, as of now, it looks very difficult for the BJP to win a seat in Kerala. Even though they are putting up a very strong fight, as we have discussed, in Thiruvananthapuram and Thrissur, and in some constituencies definitely they will be putting up a good show. But to win an election in Kerala means a huge shift in the vote percentage. I mean, that kind of huge shift of vote percentage does not seem to be coming soon for the BJP, even though there will be an increase in the percentage of votes compared to the last elections. But to translate
BJP
that
has
into
been,
victory-
has it been successful in trying to get away some of that Hindu vote away from traditionally the UDF or the LDF, or even create a split in the minority vote? Like Rahul was mentioning, obviously the minority vote is very critical in decisive in who wins.
Well, definitely they have been trying to make inroads into the Hindu votes. As you know that the BDJS, which represents the dominant backward class Irva community, which is traditionally the LDF supporter in Kerala. But even after getting support from the BDJS, which is part of the NDA, they have not been able to reach a percentage where they can translate these votes into victory in seats. So in terms of victory, they'll have to cut into other communities as well, even though this time they have tried to woo the Christian community. But as it was discussed earlier, that the Manipur issue, and there is a sense of apprehension among the Christian community. It's not going to be a complete switch over from the Congress towards the BJP from the Christian community. They might be able to attract a section of Christian community, but that votes are not enough to translate these votes into victory in a seat. So definitely they'll have to try to woo many other communities in Kerala. But as you know that UDF and LDF, they have a very strong organizational structure in Kerala, and they have a very tight control over their vote base. They normally don't allow their vote base to get dented. So that kind of...
So you don't see, some reports seem to suggest that this election may determine whether the CPIM continues to be a party with a national status and with its symbol. Is that question also in everyone's mind?
Absolutely. That's a very important question. It's a do or die battle for the CPM. As you know, last time they won only 3 seats, 1 from Kerala and 2 from Tamil Nadu. So this time they definitely will have to win more seats from Kerala, because this is the only state where they can hope to win, because West Bengal, they are not able to win any seats, and in Tripura also it's nil. So they are trying their best. That's why they have put a lot of important candidates this time. A sitting minister is there in the fray, as well as senior former ministers like Shailaja and Thomas Isaac. So they are trying their best to improve their tally from Kerala, as you have already mentioned that it's a do or die battle. So definitely for the left, they'll have to win a couple of seats from Kerala this time to ensure that they stay relevant at the national level and also in Kerala.
So most surveys seem to suggest UDF is doing very well. So do you also see this as that time, perhaps at historic time, when if a CPIM actually does bad and it is not able to retain its national status, the politics of Kerala is going to change, because that space will be taken up by a BJP?
No, traditionally speaking, CPM, CPA has acquired the left space in Kerala. Congress being the center left, center liberal, having the big tent approach, BJP being the center right force. And in spite of being, RSS has the maximum number of shakhas in Kerala. That will be very interesting.
Yeah.
And even the density, it surpasses UP. But they have not been able to translate that into a vote share because of demographic reasons, because of cultural reasons, historic reasons. They are yet to find a formula that how do they blend and match. That's going to be one thing. Second, it is very important for, like Gilvasa sir said, it's very important for the left parties, how relevant are they. For example, a person like Prakash Raj coming to Kerala, who is known to be a left supporter, or the CPM kind of a political supporter, openly endorsing Shashi Tharoor, there will be some kind of a merge or some kind of association between center left and left going to be in Kerala. Otherwise, they won't be able to survive, because Brand Modi is going to reign in a very good way in the North Indian states. And also delimitation coming in some years may be a huge challenge for South, because South has really taken care of the population aspect in a good manner, whereas our brothers and sisters in North have not. So are we going to end up as a losing side is in the back of mind of both right and left, because at the end of the day we are going to lose leverage in a very big way. If it is going to be a 888 member parliament, what is the share of our resources or what is the share of our power that is going? So there are complex
So
issues.
is that now a big debate in the minds of common voters, not as a Congress supporter, not as someone who is with the party, but I'm saying, is that something that people in the south of the country or in Kerala are talking about, this thing about delimitation and how, the BJP complains that we are labeled as a North Indian party, but these are issues, real issues for the people here.
It's very interesting that Rahul brought that up. Now, delimitation exercise does not find us as much traction on ground for now. But having said that, if the Modi government comes to power again, will there be a parliament where you have a much higher representation from UP, where we have, keep in mind, we also have a large cultural divide between the north and the south, all right? So very few things unite us culturally. So yes, those are things that are running through the back of our head, but for now, our immediate
For
concern...
now we are not concerned about that. Our immediate concern now is definitely tomorrow and what people are going to come out and vote in big numbers.
Diversity instead of divide, because we are Indians at the end of the day.
Okay, so your Kerala is going to come out and vote in big numbers.
Kerala is going to come out and vote in big numbers, and they are going to give an emphatic victory to the Congress-led UDF tomorrow.
Okay, that's a UDF supporter for sure. And
I
you're going
hope
to say-
whoever wins, please come out and vote more and more. Our nation needs our vote. Bring together, because this is a victory for democracy. At the end of the day, it should be a victory for democracy and our process. Please come forward more and more and vote more and more for anyone you like.
Okay. Gilvester, last word to you. Kerala once again going to show to the rest of the country how we need to do this?
Yes, definitely. People of Kerala will come out in big numbers tomorrow to vote, to exercise their franchise, because all these days they have discussed all the topics, all relevant topics. So obviously tomorrow is the day when they'll have to decide and choose and exercise their franchise, because that is the biggest decision they are going to make tomorrow, and we expect a huge turnout tomorrow.
Okay, thank you so much. So hopefully that's what will happen, and hopefully Kerala will be able to keep up its promise of being politically astute, being politically aware and engaged and involved with what's happening in the country to have a say through the ballot box, or should I say the EVM. Back to you in Delhi.